In Sabah, thanks to the excellent development work done by the Sabah Rugby Union, Sandakan Rugby Club and its sponsor IJM Plantations to promote the sport at grassroots level through school programs and specially organised international tournaments, rugby has come a long way, with the state now being able to boast its own academy and centre of rugby excellence, as well as a sizable pool of players eligible to play for the national rugby team, both at junior and senior level. IJM Plantations has supported rugby in its home base of Sandakan since 2002, when it formally adopted the game, entering into an MOU with the Sabah Education Department and Sabah Rugby Union to advance the standard of the game in the state. Since then, thousands of students from schools all over Sabah have benefited from IJM Plantations' numerous rugby programs, with local teachers also being trained to teach and popularize the game in schools.
Basically, what we want to do is make it available for all the kids. But in particular, we have a soft spot for the rural schools who don't get the kind of opportunities like the schools in town. So we do target like schools in Ranau and Kinangau and Sipitang and outlying schools to give them an opportunity to express their skills in the field. And then when we are selected, then we go put them through the training program, which has a lot to do with discipline, a lot of hard training and team dynamics and teamwork and all the rest comes along together with that.
During his tenure as IJM Plantations' CEO and MD, Dr. Vela Tan was key in establishing rugby as a national agenda in the group's corporate social responsibility project. As a keen former player and rugby fan himself, Vela, who founded the Saba Academy for Rugby Excellence back in 2003, knows all about the positive virtues that rugby can impart on impressionable young bodies and minds.
But we started promoting rugby as part of a CSR. Okay, and if you notice that we have a catchphrase, we say it's more than just rugby. I think we are using rugby as a platform because we all play rugby, so it's very close to our heart. So we decided that we use that as a platform, and I think it gives provide a fantastic groundwork to reach out to the young people in Sabah, an outlet for them to participate in sports, team sports. Yeah. Team sports enhances leadership dynamics, teamwork dynamics, discipline, hard work. I think this is very critical part of a character development for the young people.
Echoing his brother, Sabah Rugby Union Deputy President Dr. K.H. Tan, himself a former player and key protagonist in the development of Sabah Rugby, also sees the sport as the ideal game for young players to try and excel in.
So most of the schools we're involved with right now, with 30 over schools in the primary and another 30 over schools in the secondary, a lot of emphasis is on character development, not only rugby. Like our president said, the team we're using is more than rugby. One particular program we have is with the Juveniles Correctional Institute in Keningau, where we do some development program with the juvenile kids. Same thing, rugby, trying to channel them, trying to channel all their energy, and to make sure that that they are properly trained in the area of discipline. So as I said, we now use holistic approach. So all our rugby development holistic approach, meaning to say that they need to have balance, and the disciplines of rugby helps the kid to mature.
For young players like Spencer Francis, who turns out regularly for Eagles Rugby Club's under-18 side, rugby has afforded him the opportunity to learn and experience things that will ultimately stand him in good stead in the years to come, both as a player and as a person.
Saya lihat dari segi disiplin, training, rugby boleh bawa saya pergi jauh, dan saya rasa rugby sangat memuaskan hati saya. Kami telah pergi ke New Zealand, saya telah pergi sebanyak 2 kali, tahun 2011 dan 2012. Okey, yang 2012 kami di sana telah menetap selama 2 minggu, dan kami telah dibawa ke klub yang mana semua pemain dari New Zealand diletakkan sana, dan kami bertraining sama mereka.
As part of Sabah's ongoing drive to ensure that rugby continues to grow in popularity and thrive in the state, the services of full-time professional coaches like Fiji native Nathan Seenu and New Zealander Francis Stowers were brought in to oversee a comprehensive training and development program mainly targeting school children and young students. As a rugby development officer who has been based in Sandakan for 8 years, Nathan has coached his fair share of young local players, many of whom come from a rural background, and has been thoroughly impressed by their dedication as well as their passion for the sport.
For me, I really like the attitude and the passion that they have, even though they are small, but they have a big heart to play, and they really go all out to play this game. Most of these boys are Kampung boys. They just haven't seen much of KL, and when they come and play, their attitude is still like Kampung style and everything that they do. They haven't learned much, but when they come and play and they know how to play, and when they get out there and meet all the big schools, oh man, it's like you see improvements after improvements every year. It makes you happy.
In his second year as Director of Development and Coaching for the Eagles Rugby Club, Francis has helped implement the program to facilitate rugby in Sabah schools. As a Kiwi native, rugby was ingrained in Francis from the age of 5, eventually becoming something akin to second nature. For local kids, however, Francis understands the need to gently break down barriers before they can get to grips with the finer points of the game.
At the start when I first came here, a little bit tough just trying to implement new ideas, so I've had to sort of adjust how we do things from where I come from to how they fit better within the sort of Malaysian society and Malaysian community, especially here in Sandakan.
Yeah.
That's taken a little bit of adjusting, but no, the kids have really, especially in the past sort of year and a half, just been a lot more open to new ideas and disciplines, and I think just enjoyment's the key for them within a team environment. So yeah, they really do take to rugby. Even West Malaysia as well, we've seen a lot of good talent. So the talent is there, it's just a matter of harnessing it properly and getting the good coaching around it and development for these kids to expand on the talent that they've got thus far.
So with its ability to build and hone character, discipline, fitness, leadership and teamwork qualities amongst other admirable traits, it's really no surprise to see that rugby is being championed as an inspirational tool for young kids in Sabah. Given the impressive work done to develop the sport at grassroots level, rugby will continue to be a sport that really does make a difference in Sabah.